Okay, so we're going to start a live class on the power of positivity and how we could be positive in these days. About to get started here. Okay, in this challenging time, we really need to be resourceful in our lives with whatever we can empower ourselves with. We're going to explore some scientific and psychological ideas about positivity and its influence in our lives, the powers of our mind, and how we can influence our brains and beings in more positive and healthy ways in our day-to-day lives. As human beings, we have the power of thought that can go in so many different directions. One of the key lessons of modern neuroscience is that the power to direct our attention, the fact that we can really direct our attention on whatever we want, has within it the power to shape our brain's firing patterns, as well as the power to shape the architecture of the brain itself. So when we start thinking and behaving in more positive ways, we're actually shaping the shape of our brain more in that direction. So we have the power as human beings to harness the power of our mind to cultivate our own well-being and well-being in our lives. And obviously, if we have well-being in our own lives, then it's affecting all the people around us. So by thinking positively, we're literally influencing our brain to literally become more positive. There's a saying, wherever attention and focus go, energy flows. What we habitually think about will start to become stronger in our psyche. And there's a Jewish saying also, think good and it will be good. Whatever we start thinking good, and we actually affect the physical world more positively. We know science has proven that being positive and having positivity improves the health of our immune system, and so that obviously helps us stay healthy. So there's a study of positive psychology that suggests that being involved in something larger than our personal self actually creates a sense of meaning and well-being. And this is an essential part of the experience of happiness. For instance, when we give to others or spend on others, we feel more content than when we spend money on ourselves. This gives us, this is like a kind of well-being rooted in meaning. It has connection, and this truly brings us inner and true happiness. So being personally happy, this shows that being personally happy requires that we need to expand our usually more narrow, defined individual preoccupations, because we are built to be a we. As human beings, we're built to be a we and enter a more fulfilling state, perhaps a more natural way of being when we connect in meaningful ways with others. A living organism links its differentiated parts, and unfortunately, without integration, it can suffer and die. So science shows that well-being and true happiness come from defining ourselves as part of the whole when we connect with others and with ourselves in real ways that we can break down the boundaries that isolate us and make us separate. So when we really clear our mind and work on clearing our mind, and we could really track the energy that is going between us and others, this helps us expand ourself beyond ourself and show that we are truly in an interconnected world and we're a part of an extended community of all living beings. So, like we're saying, our mind is within us, and our mind is a relational, it's like it processes meaning that we relate with others outside of us through our mind. So obviously the health of our mind not only affects us, but affects others as well as ourselves. By being mindful, by connecting to our breathing, some use meditation, paying attention to our inner being, we increase our awareness, clarity, and acceptance of the present moment. The word for breath in Hebrew is neshima, which is connected to the word neshama, or soul. So this connection with ourselves and our breath and our being helps us get unstuck, and it helps us get back in touch with our wisdom and vitality. It helps us take charge of the direction and quality of our lives, including our relationships with our family and ourselves. And this is the art of conscious living, when we're in touch with ourselves and with others. And obviously, this certainly requires effort and discipline to have this inner connection. But by being with yourself in those moments, by watching yourself with alert interest, with the intention to understand yourself without judgment, you can enrich your life. So some of the ways to really help us start to get back into more positive flow are regular exercise, a good diet, healthy sleep. They set the foundation for promoting neuroplasticity, which what that means is we can literally help our brains become healthier and stronger by exercising, by eating well, and by sleeping well. Literally, you're helping your brain become healthier and stronger. Maimonides states that having a healthy body is part of knowing Hashem. God forbid if someone is not healthy and not feeling well, it's not possible to know Hashem. So we need to have a healthy body. It's really important. Exercise and aerobics is known that it releases endorphins that help lift us from our down moods and also promote growth of the brain, which our brain can grow throughout our lifetime, not only when we're younger, throughout our lifetime. Even older people, their brains can change and grow healthier. Eating regularly and well, balancing food groups, avoiding excessive sugar and stimulants can help to reduce mood swings. Sleep literally heals us. So getting into a calming routine before going to sleep helps our sleep. This is one of the reasons we say Shema before going to sleep at night. It helps calm us down. So obviously minimizing caffeine and other stimulants at least a few hours before sleeping will help us have a better sleep. Quiet activities such as taking a bath, listening to soothing music, or reading a book can help our mind to settle for sleep as well. It has been taught that a lot and most psychiatric suffering, it seems to manifest either as chaotic, that someone is in a chaotic way of life, or rigid, that they're stuck, or both. What is rigidity? When things are predictable, boring, things are without vitality and excitement. Chaos, which is the opposite end, is when life is explosive, unpredictable, and filled with distressing emotions, memories, or thoughts. Part of having a healthy mind is when we have optimal self-organization and integration. What does this mean? That we can allow different elements of our life to be the unique experiences they are. We do not try to deny them, we accept them, and then link them. We link them to ourselves and understand what they mean to us. And that we honor the different experiences in our life for what they are. So this, that we have integration with our lives, this allows us to function in our lives with flexibility. What does this mean? We're able to react in a variety of ways according to what is needed in that moment, that we're flexible. Adaptability gives us that we have the power to adapt to different situations that we obviously face in life. And it gives us coherence. We're clear in our minds about what we are facing, and it gives us more power to know what we need to do. It gives us energy. Energy is the ability to have strength to show up for our lives in the best way possible, as much as possible. It gives us stability. Stability is the power. Stability is the power that we have to remain stable even during challenging moments. So, what is integration? We keep on saying this word integration. Integration means that we feel connected. We feel connected to the important people in our lives, obviously to ourselves as well, but also to those others that are important to us. We are open to our lives. Things become more harmonious in our lives because we're integrated, and all the things that are happening to us, it's we can integrate it inside ourselves, and it's not like on the outside of ourselves and too much for us. We have power, so it's harmonious. We are engaged, we're connected to important people and different events. We have more compassion for others, and we're more empathetic. We can feel others more deeply. And many brain scans have shown that this integration that we attain, it actually helps link the different parts of our brain together. Since the different parts of our brain are responsible for many different functions in our body. So by having this integration, that we're connected with events in our life in a healthy way, and we're connected, we are empowered in our positive traits in our life, and this strengthens our well-being. We feel better. When we have this integration, we have a sense of being whole. We don't feel the lack. We feel full. We feel at ease, and we feel receptive to ourselves, receptive to events, receptive to others. And this helps us deal with events. And so this is the source. This is the source of the experience of harmony. So we mentioned the different parts of our brain. So what are some of them responsible for? The left side of our brain is connected to logical thinking. It's connected to our use of language and our literal processing, like of how we process literally. And the right side of our brain is more connected to nonverbal communication, our face expressions, our emotions, and our body influence. And it's kind of, so that our imagination, our dreaming, a lot of this is from the right side of the brain. What links the right and the left? The middle part of our brain is what links the right and left part. So this integration that we said that we have it through positivity and by being mindful and being curious and open in life and connected, this all brings to integration. It really helps us feel the emotional spark of life. It allows us to be socially engaged, like we're connected with others that are important in our lives. It allows us to experience novelty. That's feeling healthy excitement in our lives. And that is really something that we need now in this tough time, to feel novelty. It's not easy when we're kind of stuck. So we really need to kind of create that healthy excitement in our lives. And this also allows us to have creative exploration, which helps us have fun. So one other thing that is really connected to positivity and can help us stay positive is the power of music, because music has a very powerful effect on the brain. Scientists have found that music stimulates more parts of the brain than any other human function. There's a lot of potential in music's power to change the brain and affect the way it works. Music can help in many aspects of the brain, including pain reduction, stress relief, helping our memory, and even, God forbid, brain injuries. And according to Torah, all the prophets knew how to play music. They had musicians with them that would help them achieve the prophecy state when needed, since one needed to be in a joyful mood in order to have prophecy. And there's a story that Elisha, who was a student of Elijah, he got upset at one moment and he needed to have prophecy. And it literally says he told the musicians to play music. It says as soon as the musicians started playing the music, he started to get into the spirit of prophecy. So we know that music is one of the fastest ways to achieve a joyful state. I want to tell you guys a lovely story about Albert Einstein. So it says in Albert Einstein in 1950 received a letter from a rabbi who, sorry, something happened to my computer. He received a letter from a rabbi who had lost one of his daughters in an accidental death. What wisdom could he offer, the rabbi asked, to help his remaining daughter as she mourned her sister? And here is what Einstein replied. A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe. A part, this human being obviously, limited in time and space. The human being experiences themselves, their own thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest. Einstein says, this is a kind of optical delusion of our consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affections for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security. So we as human beings, we feel separated. We feel only ourselves sometimes. We don't feel the great connection we have with the world and others around us. And our job as human beings is to free ourselves from this optical delusion. This is just a delusion. We're all connected. And when we can free ourselves, we're liberated. And it gives us inner security. It helps us feel better. And it helps us feel compassion for others. So I'm going to just go back because a lot of people joined later. So I'll go back over to what we said in the beginning of the class, that we want to be resourceful now with whatever we can empower ourselves because we're going through a tough time. So we explored some ideas of science and psychology and Torah about positivity and its influence in our life. We spoke about the power of our mind, how we can influence our brains and beings in being more positive and healthy in our day-to-day lives. We said that our thought can go in so many directions. So science teaches us and Torah teaches us that the power to direct our attention actually has the power to shape our brain's firing patterns, because our brain is a bunch of firing patterns. It's amazing if you could ever see it. It's like literally trillions almost, or billions of trillions of cells running around and moving all over the place. So when we think positively, or on whatever way we think, we're really shaping the architecture of our brain. So when we think positively, we're shaping the architecture of our brain to a more positive way. So we'll start to have a more positive brain and a more positive way of being. We can harness this power of our mind to really make our well-being greater. So there's a saying, they say, wherever attention and focus go, energy flows. Whatever we think about habitually, that's what starts to become stronger in our psyche. We said the Torah saying that says, when we think good, it will be good. When we literally, just by thinking good, we're actually having a positive influence on our reality. Science has proven that by being positive, we're improving the health of our immune system. This is going to help us stay healthy just by being positive. Amazing. Just stay positive and it will help us stay healthy. It empowers us. And there's the study of positive psychology, says that when we're involved with something larger than ourselves, this helps us create meaning in our lives. It helps us feel well-being. And this having meaning and feeling good is a big part of being happy. They've proven that when we spend money on others and we give to others, we feel better than when we're just taking care of ourselves. And this is a well-being that is connected and rooted in meaning, it's connection, and it's really true inner happiness. So this is really ironic that for us to be personally happy, that means we need to expand from our narrow individual preoccupations and go out to the more communal and others. We can't just be by ourselves, because as human beings, we are built to be a we. We're not just individuals, we're social beings. And that helps us when we take care of others. It helps us feel and enter into a more fulfilling state of being, and hopefully a more natural way of being when we connect to others in more meaningful ways. So when we can, science shows that well-being, feeling good, and true happiness come from defining ourselves as part of an interconnected whole, that we're not just alone, we're an interconnected whole. We connect with others and we connect with ourselves in true and authentic ways that break down those boundaries that isolate us and make us separate. And when such connections can also be created when we develop a clear lens of mindsight. We see things clearly. We can track our energy and see how we're feeling throughout the day and see what information is flowing within us and among us. When we can really cultivate our ability to sense energy, like how we're feeling and how others around us are feeling, and the energy flow that's happening between us, this really helps us to expand the self beyond just the boundaries of our individual bodies. And it really helps us reveal the truth that we're part of an interconnected world. We are a living organism that is part of the extended community of living beings. So obviously, if our minds are within us, but it's part of our relation processing. Like people could see on us when we're not feeling good. So it affects others, our state of being in our mind. So the health of our mind really helps others be healthy as well. Part of being mindful is connecting to our breathing, helps us connect and pay attention to our inner being. We can increase our awareness of how we're feeling inside. It helps increase our clarity, how clear we feel, and it helps us in accepting the present moment, even when, God forbid, it's difficult, like in this time. It gives us the power to be able to accept this. How do we say breathing in Hebrew? Linshom, neshima. This word neshima is connected to the word neshama, our soul. So when we're connected in this way and to ourselves and being that we just feel good in ourselves, this helps us get unstuck. This helps us get back in touch with our true innate wisdom, the wisdom we all have inside of us, and the vitality, the life, power that we all have inside of us. It helps us take charge of the direction and quality of our lives, which includes our relationships with our family and ourselves. And this is called the art of conscious living. And obviously, of course, we said this requires a lot of effort and discipline, but it's well worth it when we can have that consciousness and good feelings and happiness. For sure, it's worth it. So just by being with yourself at times, breathing, doing short meditations even, watching yourself with interest, watching your body, how your breath is going, how your certain body parts are feeling, with the intention to understand yourself without judgment, you literally enrich your life to help you feel better and more powerful. We mentioned that regular exercise, a good diet, and sleep, they can really help the foundation for promoting neuroplasticity, which neuroplasticity means helping our brain become healthier and stronger. As Maimonides states, having a healthy body is part of knowing Hashem. We said that exercise and aerobics, they release endorphins that help lift us from down, sad moods. They also, exercise actually promotes growth of the brain. We really need to exercise because the brain can grow throughout our lifetime, not just when we're young. Our brain can always grow. So eating regularly and well, balancing food groups, trying to avoid excessive sugar and stimulants can help us to reduce mood swings. Sleep literally heals us. So getting into a calming routine before going to sleep helps our sleep. This is one of the reasons we say Shema before we go to sleep at night. We try to minimize caffeine and other stimulants at least a few hours before sleeping. Quiet activities such as taking a bath, listening to soothing music, reading a book can help our mind settle down for sleep. And it's known that most psychiatric suffering usually manifests either as chaotic or rigid or both. So what is rigidity? What is when someone has rigidity in their lives? When everything is predictable, it's not fun. Things are boring. Life has no vitality. There's no excitement. Kind of what some of us are feeling now, right? It feels rigid. Chaos, but we're also feeling chaos. That's the problem now. We're having both. Chaos is when life is explosive, unpredictable, and filled with distressing emotions, memories, or thoughts. So how do we overcome this? How can we overcome this chaos and this rigidity and have a healthy mind? When we have optimal self-organization and integration. What does this mean? We allow the different elements of our life to be the unique experiences that they are. This is a unique experience, what we're in. And we can just accept it for what it is. And then we could move to what we need to be doing at this moment, the best what we can do. We link them. And this integration, this will allow us to function with flexibility. That we're flexible in our lives. We can react in a variety of ways according to what is needed in the moment, because this moment is requiring something else. So we need to be flexible, each of us, to know what we need to be doing that will help us the most. It helps us to be adaptable. That's the power that we can adapt to these different situations that we're facing. It helps us be coherent, that we have clarity in our minds about what we're facing. We accept it. And it gives us energy. Energy is the ability to have strength to show up for our lives in the best way possible. It gives us stability. What's stability? That we have the power, that we're stable even during these challenging moments. And integration, this word that we're saying, it helps us feel connected. We feel connected to ourselves. We don't feel disconnected. We feel connected to the important people in our lives. We're open to life. Things become more harmonious in our life. We are engaged and connected to ourselves, to important people, and with different events. It helps us have compassion and be empathetic for others so we can feel them more deeply. And we said that this integration links the different parts of the brain together, that we said there are different parts of the brain that are responsible for different parts, body functions. So by having this integration and connection, we empower our positive traits in our life, which this strengthens our well-being. When we have this integration, we have the sense of being whole. We don't feel lack. We feel full. We feel at ease and calm. And we feel receptive, could receive the moment. And this, all of this is the source of the experience of harmony. We mentioned the different parts of our brain and what they're responsible for. We said the left side is connected to logical thinking, the left side of our brain. The left side is connected to language, to literal processing. We said the right side of our brain is the non-verbal, emotional, our emotional cues. And the right side takes all of the cues from the body. It tells us what our body is feeling. So the middle part of our brain is what links the left and the right side. So when we have the integration, it helps us feel the emotional spark of life, but not get overwhelmed by it. We're linking the left and right. So we're logical, but we're also emotional together. And we're healthy emotional, and healthy logical. So the middle part of our brain, that's what links, we said. And it allows us to be socially engaged with others. We're connected with others. And it allows us to experience novelty, the healthy excitement in our life. And it allows us to have creative exploration. We spoke about the power of music, how science says that music has such a power in our brain. It stimulates more parts of our brain than any other human function. We said that it could help many parts of our brain, pain reduction, stress relief, helps us with our memory, and God forbid with brain injuries. Said that according to Torah, the prophets always had musicians that would help them achieve the prophecy state when needed, since prophets needed to be in a joyful mood in order to have prophecy. And music is one of the fastest ways to achieve this joyful state. And the last thing we spoke about was the story of Albert Einstein, who received a letter from a rabbi who had lost one of his two daughters in an accidental death. And the rabbi was asking what wisdom could Einstein offer to help his daughter that was really mourning her sister. And this was Einstein's reply. A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space as human being. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feeling as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. But this delusion is a kind of a prison for us because it restricts us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security. Thank you all really for listening. It's been really nice to have you here. And we'll continue tomorrow night with, tomorrow morning we do a Psalms and some of the Siddur, the prayers in the morning at 10 o'clock. And then at night we do a short Torah class at 8:30 p.m. And hopefully we'll do more of these like positivity classes, or maybe Sunday nights at 8:30. And I'll send you guys all the info. And if anyone has any questions or thoughts I want to share, please post to this page, send me a message or an email at rabbihalevi@kahaljoseph.org. God bless you all. Thank you, Edgar de la Peña. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you people. God bless you, and really only good things. May we all stay positive and connected and powerful. And really, we're gonna overcome this. We're really gonna overcome this. Let's just stay positive, and we're gonna get through this. And our life is gonna be good. And our life is already good, but it should be better in a more revealed way. God bless you all, and much love. Thank you so much. Have a great night.